I'm always on the lookout for fun and interesting decks in the other Eternal formats, and I saw a beautiful looking Jeskai Ascendancy list. Okay, welcome back, Vintage gamers, to another Wednesday night brewing session. We're going to, instead of playing standard in Vintage, this time we're going to play some modern in Vintage. Always on the lookout for cool decks that are appearing in other formats, and I did notice that cori-steel cutter is a nice little upgrade to the Jeskai Ascendancy decks. For those of you who are not aware, Jeskai Ascendancy is a combo card played in, I don't know, Pioneer, Modern, typically. It has been played in Vintage in the past. And basically, it's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, your creatures get 1/1 and untap until end of turn, or they 1/1 until end of turn and they untap. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. It's very clean, infinite +1/+1s, and draw loots through with Emery, Lurker of the Loch, where Emery can replay a Bauble, a Lotus Petal, or a Black Lotus from your graveyard, and then crack it, and then replay it, and then crack it, and then replay it, and make a very large Emery. One of the problems with this deck sometimes has in other formats is your Emery gets killed, or it takes a turn for your Emery to not have haste to do its thing. And that's a kind of a nice little upgrade with cori-steel cutter here, where you can actually give your Emery haste, which is sweet. Or you can just play this kind of beatdown side plan where you're casting spells, triggering your cori-steel cutter. They actually, all your monks play pretty well with Jeskai Ascendancy, and you can make lethal attackers very, very quickly. If you're already playing Lotus and Petal in my Jeskai deck, I might as well put in Underworld Breach Brain Freeze. It's probably correct to have 2 Underworld Breaches here, but I wanted to stock up on the blue cards instead. I'm not 100% sure if 6 is the right number of looping cards. I know in other formats you get to play Mox Ambers and Mox Opals, and you can loop those as long as you have 2 of them. I don't think I want to have those in this format, but I'm not 100% sure either. Because we're playing our full Moxen Mana Crypt deck, we do have our stock ups instead of things like Preordain, Brainstorm, Ponder, whatever. Stock ups is going to be really good at stocking us up with the good cards. I am going to play a nice little Merchant Scroll package to go with our Brain Freeze here in terms of PO, Gush, and Dig Through Time. Dig Through Time plays really nicely when you're discarding cards to Jeskai Ascendancy and milling cards with Emery. Gush plays really nicely with Jeskai Ascendancy and cori-steel cutter. And PO, I think, is just a nice little one-up to have when you have the Merchant Scroll available. I am going to try playing Tinker Citadel, and Mystical Tutor in this deck. It just feels correct to be having Mystical and Tinker and Citadel when you have this kind of full mana, big blue mana suite. There are more cards than I can absolutely fit in the deck that I would want to play in the deck, so we do have to make cuts somewhere. Obviously, cards like Sensei's Top and things are good, but you shouldn't really need them. Especially this deck should be pretty reasonable at churning through the deck with a Citadel. I'm not really worried about that. I don't know if 14 lands is too many lands. I've been having some problems recently with like drawing too many lands, drawing too few lands. I don't exactly know what the correct answer is in that sense, but I think 14 seems safe, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to go with no Surveil land because I want to be able to play turn 1 Emery or turn 1 cori-steel cutter or turn 1 stock up. I want all untapped blue lands as much as possible. Even this Urza Saga I'm a little hesitant about. Sideboard, I just have all the best Jeskai cards. We've got a really large suite of creature removal for those matchups. We have some great pieces of counter magic in Negation and Pyroblast. We do have some consignment memories for artifact-based decks, and then Lantern is going to give us versatility between Breach and Bazaar. Yeah, not only, I should also say, this is Trample and Haste. So sometimes in other formats, when you get your Infinite Emery, you can't actually get in. But the Infinite Emery here should give us the ability to make it trampling as well. So that's kind of important too. So you're basically going to win the game if you get your Ascendancy Emery stuff online. And then we should be able to play pretty good games from the tempo perspective as well. Then, of course, we do have backdoor Underworld Breach win conditions as well. So lots of, and Citadel. So lots of different things are happening here, all very powerful. We'll see if they play well together in this Vintage League. The legendary NYSE Open returns to Long Island in New York. This 9th installment will be a 15 proxy, $500 entry fee tournament where the top 8 will return home with 8 pieces of real unlimited power. Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxens will be part of this celebration of Vintage. At 100 players, there'll be an additional wacky draft with classic booster packs from Ice Age to Onslaught, the NYC Trophy, Karn Altars, $1,000 in giveaways, dealers, and much, much more. Check out the link below for all the details. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1 of our Vintage League up against Patty. I believe I played against Patty recently on, I feel like it was Lurrus, but we'll see. Usually a blue deck, but I can play some different things as well. I've been trying a lot of things recently. I was trying to make a Storm Chasers PO deck, and I just wasn't really happy with it. It just kept getting kind of overpowered. Not 100% sure what the problem is there. But I was also interested in maybe playing this deck a little bit, built a little differently. I noticed that in other formats you're playing Emery and Tamiyo as 8 wizards for Flame of Anor. I was thinking maybe instead of Tamiyo, you could just play Thundertrap Trainers. So like Emery, Thundertrap Trainer, Flame of Anor, some kind of Tinker deck. Seems like it could be pretty interesting. I don't know, there's a lot of cool cards right now and a lot of good blue cards right now. I have once again loaded in with my companion Bolas' Citadel in my hand. Pretty impressive how I consistently do that. I think this is probably still a keep on the back of Ancestral Recall, but certainly am not happy with this happening again. I also have no Brainstorm in my deck. I can loot away the Citadel, though. I could also tinker for Black Lotus, which is pretty good with my Breach and my Citadel, so there's at least some plan there, but it's not good. I've been shying away from Tinker Citadel in the last, few years now because Lurrus just seems like it's a better choice for any deck that is kind of combo-oriented that doesn't need to play 3 drops. Obviously, if we're going to make a fun Jeskai Ascendancy deck, then we can't play Lurrus. But it feels like, for the most part, just even in your combo decks, having the ability to have a free 8th card that's a draw engine with your baubles and stuff is just too strong to pass up. There were a couple metagames where we played Tinker PO. That was mostly due to the fact that I thought Karn was worth it. So, like, obviously Tinker Citadel is good, but Karn is even better. I was also discussing it recently in the Discord with Sean. Like, there is so many Force of Negations and Flusterstorms and Spell Pierces and Pyroblasts and Disputes and stuff laying around right now that the sacking, basically if you cast Tinker and you have to sack an artifact, it's very hard to come back from that if it gets countered. To be fair, it was always pretty hard to do that, but I'm gonna start with an Emery. I guess I shouldn't have shown this bauble first, but that's okay. I was talking. So I milled over nothing. All right. Sapphire on their top. So this Emery is obviously very good with Mishra's Bauble. It represents basically a Lurrus. It is blue, and it does go for infinites, so we'll see what happens. I don't know which kind of Lurrus deck this is yet. But it does look like our Emery is continuing here. That may mean my opponent has a Orcish Bowmaster, is what that might mean. There's a land. That's quite good for us. I kind of want to bait a Bowmaster so that I can Ancestral, which is... I don't know how well that's going to go, but... I feel like... Oh, are we just Bowmastering now? What's happening? Maybe this is a hard cast negation on my bauble. That's what it looks like is happening, maybe. They don't want this loop to continue occurring, so they're going to hard cast negate the bauble. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, all Ancestral. I did not hit any Moxen or other spells that are good here. My opponent just concedes, but maybe you shouldn't concede here. My Ancestrals have been drawing me 3 lands a lot of the time. That being said, I am pretty far ahead here. My opponent did reveal black and red, so either Unlucky Monkey PO or some kind of Breach variant. that makes me want to play... I want to play Lantern if they're Breach. I want to play Negation if they're either, I guess. Don't really need Island either way. I don't really like Mystical. I actually think I might just take out Citadel. Just as it's a high variance card where I can kind of skirt about that and just play better cards that are going to be more consistent. Do I want to play one Prismatic Ending as a Lurrus answer? Not particularly. I kind of want to play two Lanterns if they're on Breach, though. Maybe... So Bobbled... Normally, I like to take out Baubles for Lanterns when I'm playing this kind of matchup, but you're not really going to do that here, as Lantern doesn't really go infinite in the same way that Bauble goes infinite. But I don't know exactly what's the worst card now. Maybe it's just an Ascendancy. Maybe it's a cori-steel cutter. Let's go down one cutter. Let's try this. I'm not really sure we're in a Karn metagame anymore. So I barely even included Tinker in this deck. Jeez, can I mean, this is a couple draws, and it's kind of the cards I want, so I'm going to keep it even though it does not currently produce mana. Do I think Cutter is the best card out of Tarkir? I don't know. What other cards are there? Jeez, I cannot seem to hit... I cannot seem to hit mana in the correct spots anymore. Wait, what just happened? Oh, I probed my opponent. I didn't even look. Classic Justin. Like, why? There's so many cards revealed. So they are Breach, and they are cori-steel cutter Breach. Interesting. They brought in Needle. I guess they're not very interested in me bobble looping them. But I did sideboard correctly here, so that's good. So I guess the question now is, if my opponent jams a cori-steel cutter, am I negating it? So that's the question that's going to be posed to me here. Feel like I'm going to. It's not great, but also I'm pretty far behind on tempo. I currently have nothing. If they want to force over this, then I'm pretty happy about it. But I feel like I'm just so far away from doing anything of value. I just cannot seem to hit. Go from the triple lands off of the Ancestral to the no lands. Sure. I got a whole lot of nothing. What do you got? I got a whole lot of nothing too, but they have mana to cast spells, so. Guess this Needle on Emery is pretty good. I did not bring in an answer to Needle. Another kind of good reason to maybe play a Flames of Anor somehow. I'm gonna hold the Needle, it seems. Alright, Ruby. Ruby is worse than a Volcanic here, but it's definitely acceptable. If they want to negate this, again, I think that's acceptable for us. If they don't, then they run the risk of running into some tempo. I think they're going to negate it, yeah. Pitching Force of Will, interesting. Okay. It's totally acceptable from me. Negation is kind of annoying because it means I can't bring it back with Emery, but I don't think I'm bringing back anything with Emery this game. Seems pretty likely that a Needle is going to stop me no matter what I choose to do. Chat. Well, this would be a nice time to buy my Lurrus, which I don't currently have. I'm going to hold the Jet, though, in case I draw a second cori-steel cutter. Obviously, playing the Jet helps me play around Fluster a little bit, but I think Fluster is just wrecking me no matter what. Black. Probably. Oh. Demonic. This is a demonic where they're tapped out of Flusterstorm. But I mean, I'm running quickly into dying to Breach here. But I think this has to get countered. I think get rid of an Emery, considering it's pretty bad as multiples. It's pretty bad as the first one as well. But I guess if I like let this happen, then they just get the Black Lotus, and things are even worse than they are before, because they don't really have mana at the moment. But I am currently getting bullied for sure. All right. Soul Guide Lantern. That would have been good to know about before I cast all of my stuff here. It is what it is. I think at this point, I am going to play the Jet so I can theoretically crack my Lantern and have Pyroblast up. Don't think I'm cracking my Lantern for what it's worth. We're making a pretty good show of it, considering we have no blue source. I did not expect to have no blue source come turn 7 in this game, but my opponent also only has 2 lands. They have 7 cards in hand, though. I'm gonna hold. I think this Lantern has to be staying in play. Okay, I just cannot get that. I took what, 1 island out? I guess I theoretically don't have any Mox Opals in my deck, but so if I let this happen, they can name my Lantern. But if I crack it, they're gonna name Emery. I think I'd rather have the card. We drew Sapphire. It's quite funny. Yeah. Oh, Academy, I see. Well, currently I'm getting Flusterstorm. Oh, now I'm beating Flusterstorm. That's good. Well, I guess I'm not beating Flusterstorm if I play my Sapphire this turn, so I guess in that case, we will pass and go for a dig through time. Another red source. Don't need these cards in my yard, considering I can't bring them back with Emery. I can at least pay for a Fluster from this spot. Got forced. So if I Pyroblast, I get Flusterstormed. Is this Forge pitching? Stock up? Alright. I'm still really worried about Underworld Breach. But I also just didn't feel like my Emery was going to be a good long-term plan. Time Walk. Yeah. This is a Lorien revealed. So now they can theoretically Breach, Probe, and Walk. Oh god, they keep hitting... they didn't have a land drop yet. Yeah, at least we took the Demonic Tutor out of the yard. That's actually a really big deal here. Unfortunately, this Flusterstorm is just completely triumphing over my cards. Spell Bomb. Yeah. Also, I can't really stop a Lurrus from happening, which would be a problem as well. Yeah, I'm in a pretty bad spot. I just was behind on mana for too long. Is this the Breach? Sure. Are they gonna Time Walk or are they gonna Probe first? Thanks for the 50 months, Neil. Appreciate it. All right, there's the Probe. I mean, they know the cards in my hand. If they hit a Mox, it's pretty... Or a 0-mana artifact, it's really bad for me here. If they hit a land, it's really bad for me here, too. Because then they can Time Walk with Flusterstorm up. I mean, I will definitely hit this Time Walk with a Pyroblast. My Pyroblasts have not been good. They might just choose not to Time Walk. Maybe they'll just Probe again. because they kind of want to hold open Flusterstorm for my stock up, though I can just cast it as the first spell. Weird game. Super weird game. It's turn 10. Both of us have kind of had just super anemic draws. Looks like another probe is happening. So that gets rid of the Time Walk. Wonder if there's any value in just turning off this card draw. We know my opponent has Flusterstorm. I'm like not really using double Pyroblast very well. Feels like a better use of my mana to just like go 1-for-1 here. Like they're not gonna Flusterstorm this, so all right. The Breach is used up, but they have a Lurrus, so not really. Mana Crypt. I guess we can play that out first, considering it taps for 2. And we'll stock up. Jeskai Ascendancy. Stock up, force, misstep. It's just gotta be force stock up. Considering our Emery is pretty dead from here. I can reload on our next turn. We've got force and Pyroblast up. We're gonna need some steel. I don't think I actually have a single answer to needle left in my deck, right? I think I took out Portable Hole. They have... If I can counter Lurrus, I actually think we're in a pretty decent spot. If I'm unable to counter Lurrus, I worry for our safety. Is this just a Lorien reveal? Oh, it's a stock up. All right, well, I'm going to counter this. If my opponent wants to fluster this, I think it's fine. They're going to crack the spell bomb. Okay. They didn't like pitch this fluster at some point, did they? No, they still have a fluster. The problem is, if they do fluster... No, they're not going to fluster. Interesting. They're just going to buy Lurrus then? I'm not sure that protects you, though. Interesting. Oh, they have Lotus, so it does protect them. Jeez, that is a huge beating. So now they have Lurrus, Lotus with force backup, and I can't even counter the Lurrus. Wow, what a nightmare. That is just the worst possible thing that could have happened. Because if they don't have a Lotus, then on the next turn I should just have force up for their Lurrus. That's incredible. Yeah, I need to win the game, and soon. So you're going to play Lotus to hold open your Flusterstorm, or you're going to play Spellbomb as best use of mana. All right. I am in deep shit. Because I was going to try to contend with this Lurrus on the stack. Well, that's certainly a good start. Probably the best card in my whole deck, so... We do know that their last card is Flusterstorm, so... But they did concede in round 1, so maybe they'll concede again. Somehow I feel like my Time Walk is going to get flustered here. But I hit my Lantern, and I hit a negation, so I feel like I should be good. This looks like a win. Does the Mana Crypt matter? I don't think so. I'm going to hit the Underworld Breach. All right, they're off it. That was very close game. Weird. Lots of people... We both like kind of just knew each other's hands the whole game because of probes. Could feel like I maybe misboarded a little bit. I really didn't think about Needle And that's kind of a good reason to like keep something in that deals with needle, whether it's portable hole or prismatic ending, or probably prismatic ending there. All right, we've got Eternal Weekend Winner and Dredge Aficionado Wizard across the table, though not so much of a Dredge Aficionado lately. Has played lots of different decks trying to escape from the Bazaar. Can't imagine that this is a keep. Let's mulligan. And then I immediately hit no lands. Don't know what I did to upset the gods, but I did something. That's for sure. I've done a lot of 7 card. It's like not great. Mulligan it into 6 card and not a single mana source to be found. Well, such is magic. Especially on the play, it's certainly a problem, but we've got some good draws, at least in this deck. This deck mulligan is a lot better than some of our recent decks, considering we do have Tinker. That's always an out on a 5-card hand. It's just a little bit of Mana Crypt land Tinker action. We'll have to see how it turns out, though. Yeah, so far we have not done a huge amount of cori-steel cuttering or ascendancying, but we did win game 1 basically entirely on the back of Emery, so we got at least that going for us. They kept a 7-card hand, so that does indicate Dredge. This is not ideal, but does seem acceptable. Let's take a peek. We do have a turn 2 ascendancy, but we won't have access to an Emery right away, so it doesn't do a whole lot. What is our top card? An emerald. Well, we don't want an emerald. I can tell you that much. I think I'm going to hold... Oh, I have to get a volcanic here. It's kind of unfortunate, but I'm going to hold this sapphire in case I draw steel cutter. And then I can go land steel cutter, activate. Stock up is a very good draw if I don't get wastelanded. It is Bazaar. I can't imagine we're winning our 5-card hand versus Bazaar in game 1, but I guess we'll give it a shot. Triple Icarid. Interesting. No Dredger means I'm pretty likely to get countered here. I might throw up the Ascendancy as bait because the stock up seems like it's a little bit more valuable here. Did not get any action there. That's so unfortunate. Now I guess we can turn this Tundra into a card though, so that's good. All right, activate Bazaar. What do you got? There's a Stinkweed Imp and a Prized Amalgam. So I assume an Icarid will eat an Icarid here just to trigger the Prized Amalgam. Yeah. And then I assume we'll go to Dredge. Dredge 5 happens. It hits another Thug and Shell and another Amalgam. So that's a lot of creatures already. That's an Amalgam at this turn and an Amalgam on the next turn. Cori-steel cutter. It's probably worse than casting a stock up. Did he find some counter magic or activate Brain Freeze? That can go directly in the bin. Don't need that. I would take Black Lotus and oh, that does have a negation hiding in there. Damn. All right, I'm gonna hold on to this Tundra. I do think we're gonna die though. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 chills to win. What's the 7-card Dredge hand? If we didn't get forced, I would have been very surprised. There's Mindbreak Traps in the main. There's another Amalgam. Not a very good... I guess I was going to say not a good eating section, but now we have some things to eat. Oh, Noxious Revivaled a Bazaar. So he's going to go for 2 Bazaars to try to find the Creeping Chills to knock me out here. Interesting play. He's going to get to go 5 deep with Imp. And then we'll have to see. All right, we're gonna have to win the game on this turn for sure. Cori-steel cutter is probably not doing it. We're gonna need an ancestral recall or time walk, very likely here. That's an island, so our draws have not been great, I must say. Also, I have Tundra. Yeah, it was gonna take a lot for our 5-card hand to beat a 7-card dredge hand, and that certainly was not a good set of cards to win. We don't have a great dredge sideboard. I kind of been lacking on my dredge sideboard recently. Probably worth remedying at some point, but I have some Soul Guide Lanterns, so we got that going for us. I think we're gonna have to keep the Citadel. Yeah, none of our cards are really good in this matchup, so even Brain Freeze combo is not great against Creeping Chill, but there are game plans. You can do some countering of your own freezes and stuff. Okay, I think Gush is the worst card here for the matchup, so not getting much better post board, all things considered. I definitely did not expect to find Wizard on Dredge in my Vintage League, but there was a couple of resurgences of Dredge recently in the challenges. Yeah, I like Emery Soul Guide Lantern looping, and also Infinite on... Not Infinite, because I don't have one of my 6 loopers, but Infinite pretty soon. This is an interesting... This is an interesting hand to sequence, considering my opponent has shown us Mindbreak traps. I think it's likely that the Lantern is going to have to get held. And what I'm going to do is go with Fetch Land, Ruby, Emery. Plays into a possible Grief a little bit, but red or white? I guess white. So I think we don't want to get Mindbreak trapped. Emery resolves. Now that we're in Mindbreak trap territory, I think I want to play just Pearl out. All right, so 5-card dredge hand. Let's see what happens here. Now, if I get my Lantern Grief, it's actually not that bad because I have an Emery. Though maybe I get Sickening Shoal, we'll see. Nothing. Though if I get negated on my Lantern, it's quite bad. Underworld Breach. Interesting. So let's play Ascendancy to start. I guess because I didn't play my Mana Crypt, I can get my Lantern trapped as their last card here. That is not ideal. I didn't really consider that. Oh, am I really gonna get this Lantern trapped though? Can I wait a turn? If I had played out my Mana Crypts, this would have gone a lot better. Man. I think I just have to play into it, though. I don't really feel like letting them have an activation here is good for me. All right, sweet. Let's just hit the Icarid. Let's just wipe the yard and then replay it. No, Wizard won an online MTGO Eternal Weekend, if I recall correctly. All right, 2 hollow ones is certainly a way to beat an Emery loop. But I do have Underworld Breach Merchant Scroll. I have to be careful of my life total here, though. Another Emery. That will bin a lot of cards. Certainly seems like a good idea. Let's keep the good one. We got to be pretty close to winning here, but we have no Petal and no Lotus. So I'm thinking we just play a... So I can use my Emery to get one spell, and then Breach is a second spell, and then I can't Merchant for a freeze, though, because I won't have another blue source yet. Which makes me want to just get a bobble going here, take a big hit. Can't die. Seems like that makes the most sense. Because a blue source, I think wins, right? Well, it doesn't win, but has a pretty high chance of winning. Oh, that also feels like it has a pretty high chance of winning. They just naturally drew the grief. Take a big hit here. Yeah, maybe we should have done that. Just drawn, replayed. That's probably fair. Now I can't really touch this because they can activate and Creeping Chill, maybe. So maybe that was just a silly play. Don't have a blue source still. Yeah, I think I played that kind of badly. Don't actually think I was supposed to hit the Icarus. I think I was actually supposed to hit the Golgari Grave Troll, which is kind of interesting. On the flip anyways. So if I hit a blue source, I think I like my chances on... That just wins the game. All right, cool. That just wins the game. Yeah, that'll do it. Blue, red, white, Ascendancy, bobble, bobble, loot. I kept in portable hole. When that happened? And then I make a 20/20 and I kill my opponent. All right. I kept in a portable hole. How'd that happen? Okay. We definitely wasn't perfect. I would definitely want to go back and sequence those in a slightly different manner. Definitely drawing a card with Lantern and replaying Lantern to hit Golgari Grave Troll seems like it makes way more sense than bobbling. What happens? Every turn, I get +1. Every time I cast a bobble, I get +1/+1 and untap my creatures. So I cast the bobble, my Emery gets bigger and untaps. I crack the bobble, and then I tap my Emery to let my bobble get recast, and I just cast my bobble as many times as I want to make a lethal attacking Emery, and I kill my opponent. This portal hole's gotta go. Though, do I want an answer to a possible Chalice of the Void? I think this deck, man, it really wants that Flames of Anor that I was talking about. Really wants that Flames of Anor. I would have to find a way to fit 4 wizards into the deck. Probably Thunder Trap Trainers, not Tamiyo's. But I've just loved Flames of Anor recently because it's great that your draw spell just also is a creature removal and also is an artifact removal. It works really well in these combo decks that don't want to get like Chalice and Null Rotted and Archoned. I am definitely much higher on Flames of Anor than I was when I initially started seeing it be played in the monkey deck. I guess Portable Hole is theoretically better than a Prismatic Ending. Because it's an ending. I guess the endings could theoretically hit a Amalgam. Seems unlikely. I could blast through something. Well, if you play 2 flames, then it's plural, isn't it? No one plays 1 flame. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I don't think I want swords to block hollow ones. I think that's Corey Steelcutter's job. Maybe I'll just take another land. I don't really want another land. All right, I'll try to use this to beat a counterspell. All All right. Hopefully my opponent does not hit me with the 7-card dredge hand. We can seem to beat a 5-card dredge hand. This has no lanterns, but it's pretty combo heavy. Probably going to keep it. They powdered on 6, 2 vigors. They powdered on 6 again, 2 hollow ones, and then they kept on 6. And they have the Chalice of the Void. Yep. Immediately exactly the one of that I was talking about. How do I do it? How do I summon this reality? It's crazy. All right, 1 imp, 1 amalgam, 1 narcomoeba. What do I got on the top of my library here? Time Walk. That does not look good for us. Maybe I was not supposed to use this bauble, actually. Considering I don't actually have any mana. Maybe I'll draw Ancestral Recall. Everything will be fine. I'll take a fetch land. I don't know if this is going to be fast enough, though. My opponent has a Dredge 5 into a Dredge 4. Icarid and an Amalgam. For next turn. This one hit double chill. Alright. I'm not gonna die, but I am dying. Oh, never mind. My opponent kept double Bazaar. I'm Dredge. My bad. I should never have doubted the world champion over here. Okay, I guess I just die. That's unfortunate. I don't know. I'm getting killed on turn 3 by a Dredge Goldfish. I think it is what it is. Yep, they needed to hit this Narcomoeba to bring back Prize Amalgam. They correctly activated in main phase so that I can come back on end step. So now I'm at 8, and then I am at 1, and then I am at, yeah. All right, well, I'm at 0. I don't know. You just don't... I am not respecting Dredge very much in the way I'm currently configuring my deck, and I'm certainly paying for it. All right, here we go, round 3. ADM would never Bazaar us, or would never Dredge us. He would maybe Workshop Bazaar us. This hand's cool. I mean, you can link it. Let's go for it. Why not? All right, I got a Steel Cutter, and the next turn I have another Steel Cutter. Sweet. Oh, man. That guy did a very good job of riling up people and getting his name out there. I can respect the hustle. Ooh, Black Lotus. Please don't. What does ADM got for us? We got mono white shops. We got turn 1 Chameel. What's happening here? What are we getting wrecked by? I love ADM. ADM is one of my favorite players to play against. ADM is, oh my god. I take it back. I take it all back. I take everything back. I think this is supposed to resolve. I think this hurts my opponent more than it hurts me. So I'm gonna let this resolve. This is cori-steel Cutter's moment to shine. This is exactly why I actually have good opinions of this card. There's a reason. Because it doesn't actually matter that abilities are turned off. I'm about to whop my opponent in the face with a bunch of monks. This was the vision. This was actually the vision of cori-steel Cutter in PO. It didn't work out for me, obviously. I got trounced in the Echo Cup. But the idea was that this card would provide this supplementary game plan that actually was good into the things you were bad against, you know? This card is good into Flusterstorm. This card is good into Pyroblast. This card is good into Null Rod. I mean, this is not an unfamiliar sight. Like, I have a Twitter post playing against another Null Rod player where I just let the Null Rod resolve on turn 1. I think it was Maharu. And it just doesn't matter. Like, the card is not good right now. Merchant Scroll. That's a good draw, too. It might be better to even Time Walk than to Merchant Scroll, but I don't really want my Saga to go away, so... Ancestral Gush, Mystical... Just gotta be Ancestral. I don't really think, like, the Black Lotus... Like, obviously my opponent lost value on the Black Lotus, but, like, if they had used the Black Lotus, we would have forced whatever came out anyways, right? So, like, it's not, like, a huge deal. Obviously, it's a blemish on our otherwise brilliant plan, but I don't think it's a detractor. A huge detractor, anyways. Ah, man. At least we got to cut some steel, let me tell you. Normally, like this kind of combo-oriented deck, right, would have such a problem with a main deck Null Rod, but nope, not me. I'm good. Hopefully we draw into a land for Time Walk here. I guess it doesn't really matter what I choose. Any blue lands enjoyers for the lethal? I mean, this also is lethal, so... What do I do if my opponent sequences Crypt Rod and doesn't show Lotus bad land drop? It's harder to say. It's definitely harder to say. I don't know if I'm allowed to, like, make a judgment on that, considering hindsight. I think because of the decks my opponent chooses to register, I think I would have made the same play. But if you had hidden the name in Avatar, then I certainly would have to consider it, right? I think everything was lethal, but sure. I mean, this was way more fun, wasn't it? So I still don't exactly know what's going on because my opponent has Null Rod, which means he's not doing his painter thing. Yeah, you could certainly force there. I think that's totally reasonable. Oh, yeah, I agree. Sequencing is very important, and it's one of the things you have to absolutely master if you choose to play a non-Force of Will, you know, linear deck in Vintage. If you want to play Raker Shops, you want to play Mono White Initiative, even things like Dredge, it's very important that you sequence intelligently. We always talked about it a lot when we were talking about Mono White Initiative on the channel, to try to hold back your Cavern of Souls as long as possible, to not give your opponent information on your land drop, on counter ability, that kind of thing. So I think ADM will have creatures in his deck, so I'm going to go opt for an extremely controlling stance here. I'm going to do a whole lot of boarding out of combo elements. I'm not 100% sure about the Tinker part, though. The Tinker part I'm not 100% on yet. But I am very interested in being the control deck from here. I think I don't like the Gush and the Dig. It's kind of awkward to like be cutting like extreme controlling cards, but I still think you want to have Mystical Tinker possibly. Hard to say. Obviously, not a lot of reps with the deck. I don't want to like make my Emeries terrible, but I also don't want to go all in when my opponent is null rotting in the main. Let's try something like this and see how it goes. Obviously, taking out Jeskai Ascendancy is a sad thing, but you gotta play against what you're given. And I think I would rather be a whole lot more controlling here. That being said, we don't exactly know what ADM's coming for us with. We've seen the main deck Null Rods. I kind of feel like there's some white creatures backing this up. I feel like there's maybe some Clarion Conquerors, some Archons, things like that. That's my suspicion. But I could also be mistaken, and it could be things like Workshop and like on a white Workshop deck. Painter and Oswald with Null Rod main is like, it's a little dicey. I mean, I could see it. Deafening Silence, that's pretty good against cori-steel cutter. I'm gonna let that one resolve though. I still think ADM. I still think it's within ADM's range to do that for what it's worth. I do think I'm going to unsilence myself here. I'm gonna get some things down ahead of time. Who knows? Vexing Baubles could happen. Archon of Emeria. Evening. Yeah. I can tell you with most of the time, ADM is going to come together with some kind of aggressive non-blue deck is the ADM wheelhouse. Do I want to expose Academy? I don't think it's necessary for me to expose Academy here. Let's just stock up. This card's so sweet. What is this? Oh, okay. We're getting dreadnoughted? So do we take cori-steel cutter even though we can't trigger it or cast it? We're definitely taking prismatic ending. We can prismatic ending and deafening silence if we want. I think so. If they play a 2020, I think that's acceptable. Not a 2020, a 12-12. Sorry, Dreadnought is not that good. Artifacts, creatures entering. Okay. Because we do have a swords. Null Rod. Resolves. All right. My opponent is doing a lot to restrict me, but it doesn't seem to be extremely effective. I'm going to get the steel cutter down now. And so next turn, we'll be in a spot where we can unlock ourselves. No, this is about ETBs, and this is about casting spells. So we're all set there. We also get to hold up swords. If they play the Dreadnought, we can swords the troll. If they're on Dreadnought. Never even know. No. ADM does not usually register cards that produce blue mana besides Mox Sapphire, Black Lotus. Should be a mono-white linear deck. Ooh, I'd love to play a second steel cutter first. I think we have that capability here. Let's do that. A second thrall. Okay. That does not let us kill a thrall in response to a knot. But we do have the ability to unlock our Deafening Silence next turn and get these steel cutters going. Also have hard cast, force and force up at the moment. A Stony Silence. All right. You got it. All right, so I am going to go Prismatic Ending on the Deafening Silence. And then I think I will just use the swords on this, even though it's pretty low value, because we still have counter spells. And I will get some monks going. And now I'm winning the race. The Deafening Silence definitely threw our little plan for our loop here, but we had the Prismatic Ending and the Portable Hole answers. White has some really powerful, versatile cards in it. And now they have an active mana crypt, and they're pretty dead. We have not seen Dreadnoughts yet. There may not even be Dreadnoughts, to be fair, but I would hope that would... Seems like it would make a lot of sense. This might just be a hate bear. You never know. Consigned to memory. All right. Get in there. But yeah, this is the exact scenario where I was like, cool. Cori-steel cutter would really shine in my combo deck in Vintage when people are trying to stop me from comboing, right? Maybe that means that cori-steel cutter should be a sideboard card. That's totally possible. I'm not done with this steel cutter yet, even though I've had some failures. GG's ADM. Always a fun and interesting activity. Mm-hmm. You got it. Wild one. All right, here we go. Round 4 of our Jeskai Ascendancy League. Haven't done too much Jeskai Ascendancy, but we did get that one win against Dredge. We got Red Hot Phil, who is always going to kill us with some kind of egregious combo. And I cannot find islands to cast my great spells. Sadly. Okay, this one has islands. Does not particularly have the great spells anymore, but definitely a keep. We get rid of this Brain Freeze. I don't have enough breaches to justify that one. And then what we'll do is we'll do the bobble trick to see if we like our top card. If we... Oh, I guess we shouldn't do the bobble trick to see if we like our top card because we are always casting Merchant Scroll here, which is shuffling. So I guess in that case, we should see what our opponent's top card is to get a better knowledge of what's going on. Urza's Saga. I feel like I'm gonna get jeweled, aren't I? So let's Merchant Scroll for an Ancestral. And then we'll see what we draw on the upkeep. Oh, let's Merchant Scroll is countered with Force Pitching Stock Up. All right, well, I'm gonna hold this pedal for cori-steel cutter. And we'll see what our opponent's got for us besides a Saga. And a Soul Ring. Saga Gaming. No Lurrus from my opponent. No Lurrus from us. Gosh, interesting. No getting dazed here, so let's just cast our stock up. All right. Now, we have resolved a stock up. How do we proceed? Because we are currently annoyed about Saga tokens. I certainly want another stock up. Would I want to take Force stock up here? Do I think I'm in danger? Certainly a thing we could choose to do. I think that makes the most sense to me. Don't think Saga tokens have a great chance of winning this game, but they certainly could. I'd be very happy if my opponent is choosing to make Saga tokens and I'm choosing to cast stock ups, right? Black? Duress? Dark Ritual. Okay, so it's Beseech Storm. I'm glad I took this Force of Will. Are we going to Beseech away? We're going to hard cast a Bolas' Citadel. I would not want you to do that. I think I'd rather have stock up than Gush. Stock up's a hell of a card, huh? Emery. Let's stock up first. This one did not have a Force. So we are going to try to have to win on... We're going to have to try to win on the next turn here. Which we can do. So I guess we'll take Ascendancy and Cutter. Well, we can take a fetch and not have to use our pedal. I'm pretty worried we're going to die here, but there's not much we can do about it considering we did not hit a second Force. I never would have taken 2 forces there. So what is the best backup plan? I guess a second Emery? I mean, I don't think my Emery's ever gonna die. I guess it could get countered theoretically. I think a cori-steel cutter. I don't know. I don't think the second card matters too much. So I have to make sure I use the casting trick here, where I declare Emery as being cast. It sees 2 artifacts, and then I use the artifact to make the mana. They shouldn't have a needle in the main. So yeah, so if my opponent has like tap the saga, get a Black Lotus, Beseech, kill me, that will kill me. But nothing I can really do about that. We just didn't find another force off the second stock up. Oh, just bulky. Tinker. Oh, just natural bulky. Yeah, I guess so. It's quite unfortunate. They just had a little more. I can't believe we lost a game where we resolved 2 stock ups and they resolved 0, but just a little more action than we had, I guess. I mean, they had 2 must counters, and we only had 1 counter. Not thrilled about how that happened, but also not really sure if I did anything wrong, really. Island. Mystical. Portable hole. I mean, portable hole technically hits bulky, but not really though. Yep. That's how Emery works. That's how it's a very common thing when you're playing Affinity or if you were playing KCI. Basically, the way spells are cast, you declare that you're casting a spell and it does all of those checks. Yeah, we could drop some cutters in this matchup. This matchup is not really about cutter. Not really sure what we would want instead. Like Lantern, I guess theoretically helps a little bit against their Beseech stuff, but not a lot. It's like really awkward. It's like the cards are not significantly good against what my opponent's doing, you know? I don't know. Like, you think Portable Hole is actually good again? Like, why? I don't really understand. Like, you want to hit their Moxen and just like hope that it's good? You want consigned memory against artifact decks mostly. Breaker shops, sphere shops. I'll just bring in 1 lantern. Let's try this. I'm not really sure. Like, we should theoretically be the control deck in this matchup. Obviously, our second stock up. We lost 1 stock up we lost 1 force to our first stock up, and then we had some problems. That's a terrible gush hand. A classic Urza Saga gaming moment. Man, I hate Urza Saga. Have I ever told chat that? Has everyone ever heard me complain about Urza Saga? Like, if this is simply an island, half the time, if this Urza Saga is an island, it's just better. I can't win, man. All right, this is a turn 2 kill, so let's see how this goes. Is it still a turn 2 kill? I guess if I drop my probe, it's a turn 2 kill. So I probably want to activate Bauble to try to draw force. I hit 1 of my forces. I guess it runs me into a theoretical duress, but duress is going to ruin me anyways, so... Okay. Well, the good news is I have an Emery loop. The bad news is I'm not going to kill my opponent on turn 2. Maybe they'll just turn 1 tinker me anyways. Maybe they'll play an Urza Saga. That would be good for me. Maybe they'll play an Urza Saga. That would be great. I would be highly appreciative if my opponent played an Urza Saga here. Ah, god damn it. I guess I'm getting Thoughtseize no matter what. Alright. No turn 2 kill for Justin. Maybe I'll draw another one. They played the Urza Saga! But they had the jet to cast the spell. Bruh. Oh, I drew Tinker. That's pretty good. How do I want to sequence this? The answer is probably Ruby, Tinker the Ruby, and see what happens. Don't want to play our land drop, so... Surely they don't have forced blue card, yeah? All right. Any Jeskai Ascendancies on the top of my library? I dodged Thoughtseize with the top deck. Pretty crazy. Pretty wild. This looks like a nice little turn 2 kill. I assume we hit another Ascendancy on top at some point here. Probe is a way to get through the top cards, and I should be able to stock up if I need to. I guess I could take Breach and it probably wins, but I guess I have a Ruby actually, so I probably should just take Probe and Breach. Oh, I would assume this wins the game like 99% of the time. It'd be really hard to not win the game from here, I would think. Let's take Force and Caspio, maybe? I don't know. Let's destroy this Saga. All right, I'll just keep drawing stock ups. Oh, I hit another Ascendancy. It's not ideal. All right, it's starting to look like we're not winning the game this turn, though. My Breach has got to be pretty close to winning the game. Let's go to 6, I guess. Stock up, Lorien revealed. Okay. 5. I guess we're gonna have to pass the turn. I'd love to win the game here, though. Oh, we can time walk here, right? I think we should be able to time walk here. If we use our thing to play a Ruby and then play 2 petals and a time walk, should be good. Oh, I have another time walk? I just forgot about it. Why not make a couple time walk turns? Sounds like fun. I just forgot, chat. Calm down. It's fine. Why not play a couple time walks? It's more fun that way. It's not a big deal. Chill, 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 chill. No problem. Just forgot. There's a lot of things going on, all right? Too funny. I think Phil should concede, so I don't have to click through this shit, but that's okay. All right, Phil. All right. This is also a May, if I recall correctly. I don't have to draw a card, discard a card at any point here. Oh, all right. Isn't it more fun to try to win on the same turn, chat? The same turn? You're right, though. Of course, we have time walk turn. All right, we got a W there. That was a nice one. A little Tinker gaming. I didn't draw my Citadel before my Tinker. You'd love to see it. I do like that. Oh, all right. If I can dodge a turn 1 kill, this hand looks pretty good. This is not a bad spot. If I dodge a turn 1 kill here, I can stock up. Try to find a force. Tons of mana. I like it. I like it. I just gotta dodge a turn 1. Even if I get Thoughtseize, it's okay. They probably take the Lotus, and then we can like play an Emery. I have to dodge a turn 2 that way. Okay, I got Thoughtseized again. What do you mean Underworld Breach is not restricted? I only have one in my deck. Nobody told me. Eh? All right. I guess opponent could take Emery here, theoretically, but that just gives us a stock up, right? I feel like you could take Lotus and just pray that I don't hit a force. Yeah, seems like it makes the most sense. And Ancestral. That seems pretty good. Jet to cast Thoughtseize, Island to cast Ancestral. I have not cast Ancestral. I want to cast Ancestral. Seems good. I'm jealous. Don't let Justin be jealous. That's not force. It's very unfortunate that that's not force. Are we forcing my Emery? Not really representing. I guess it is still representing a turn 2 lethal here. If I can have enough stuff happen. A land and a Lotus lets me cast an Ascendancy. Casting has to make sure I can cast another spell after, but I guess I could probably cast Stock Up after, right? So a land would make this lethal on the next turn, huh? It's interesting. It's getting forced because of that. Interesting. I have 2 mana, so I feel like I'm down to look at their top card, get some information, and find force, hopefully. Got it. Nice. Nice. Everything is going according to plan. Not bad. Tinka? Key. 1 card left in my opponent's hand. That's a hell of a draw, isn't it? It's pretty good. So I'd rather stock up here. If I hit a land, it's better, right? I didn't hit a land. Oh no, I didn't hit a land. All right, I think we'll take force and time walk then. And go for the kill. And also have double protection. Next turn we can go Emery walk, and then we can go Ascendancy win, hopefully. I think we do still need another spell to trigger Ascendancy, but should be good. I think we're getting there. Black, blue, Time Vault. All right, so I will negate this Time Vault, and I will pitch a Time Walk. Now we're going to have to win over 2 turns. But I want to have another counter spell in case my opponent had a Fluster there. Pio. All right, Emery. So technically, I will have 6 mana. So I'm technically short still because I need to use the Emery to buy back Lotus to cast the Ascendancy, and then I need a spell to trigger the Ascendancy. I have another good spell. Stock up. I'm just gonna force it. All right, I'm just looking for any spell that triggers Ascendancy here. No, Gush. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That would work if I had 2 lands. So what is my best play? Is it just hard cast the Gush with a Lotus? I have 6 mana, so I cannot cast Ascendancy and Gush. I think I'm just going to cast this Gush. Alright, well, next turn does still win. But I have to dodge a Tinker or a Beseech or anything good, basically. It does not look like I'm dodging. Stock up number 2. I think we lost. I had so many spells that triggered it to win the game on the time, but did not come to fruition. Kind of feel like we're... Well, they had to use a black source here, so... I guess they still can hit Beseech and use the key to cast it and win, so... Man, I feel so bad about this. Oh, he lost! How unlucky, though. Nah. I just had lethal about a gajillion ways, and I hit the 1 spell I couldn't cast. I guess 2 spells I couldn't cast. I guess all 3 of those cards I couldn't cast. I don't know. I feel like I'm always like so... I'm just... I feel like I'm always so unlucky. Come on. Oh god, it was 5 spells in a row that didn't win the game? 6 spells in a row that didn't win the game? 7 spells in a row that didn't win the game? Jeez, okay. Maybe I'm not unlucky. Maybe I'm just... Damn. Alright. I guess that's an L. Alright, here we go. Team leader NA across the table. What am I on the play? No, I'm on the draw. This is probably not a very good hand, if I had to imagine. I'm not 100% sure what this hand would beat. I'm gonna mull it. It's certainly better. Wasteland? Oh no. Baby, come back. Well, what do you got over there? I'm sowing Myco spawn. Oh dear. Oh dear. Would my hand have beaten Eldrazi? I don't know. Cavern? Oh no. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No, Rod. Stop it. I'm getting bullied. Well, the card in my hand was PO, right? I couldn't cast the PO anyways. I feel like you just always counter the stock up there. I mean, they're like top decking, and their deck is not exactly good at top decking. I don't know. I'm gonna force this. I'm not gonna be able to force anything after it. And I think it's better than having an Ascendancy right now. Okay. Wait, you have a spell? You have another Null Rod? Oh, you have a Thorn of... No! All right. Well, that did not really work out for me here. So I hope we draw a land. Don't think I'm getting a basic. No! All right. Well, time to get Myco spawned, probably. Ancient Tomb, Strip Mine. What is this? Black? Green, green. No! Stop it! Stop it! I'm not having... No! Oh, mercy. Okay. Another one? Another one. Maybe it's a raker. It's a raker. Okay. I'm gonna get to cast stock up. That's always good. Countering that his Soul Ring worked out okay. Cori-steel cutter. Oh. Stock up. Gush. Stock up. Delta. I think I like Gush Delta. If he wastelands me, I feel like I'm gonna gush it back. Boop. It that heralds the end. That's not good. That's a clock. I'm dying. Portable hole. I think we're dead. Try to win the game on the next turn, maybe. Cutter? It's fine. I shouldn't have tapped that, but whatever. It's fine. I'm gonna have to hit one of my remaining 2 Jeskai Ascendancies, probably. No, I guess there's a Thorn, so I can't really loop here. I guess I can loop if it's Black Lotus. So I guess an Ascendancy does just win the game on the spot. It's kind of sick. No Rod? I mean, I'm dying to them casting creatures, man. Ugh. Nothing gets me out. I'm in prison, man. I'm in prison. I'm in Eldrazi prison. It's okay. Post board, we get to bring in like 10 removal spells, so. What is happening? Oh, this is a Kozilek's command. You can't cast Kozilek's command here and kill me because it costs 1 more. Next turn, though. All right. Cori-steel cutter number 2. Somehow, I don't think that's good enough because I'm just going to die to creatures ETBing. I guess... Yeah. I guess I can't even make 2 things. All right, whatever. Get me out. 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 I want out. I want out. Let me free. Classic Eldrazi matchup problems. I'm going to bring in all these cards. And all these cards. Am I supposed to take out Force? It feels like a take out Force angle here. Wow, that. Boom. Boom. That is quite the sideboard plan. I guess Swords of Plowshare is not very good against Sowing Mycospawn, but oh well. All right, on the play. I accept. Give me one of them Ancestrals. Not very many targets left, actually. It's kind of funny. Ancient Tomb. Nullron? Nullron. All right. Gimme, gimme, gimme. It technically answers a Null Rod at some point. I don't think I'm playing Saga Gaming here. If I can sign. This is just a 2-2. I don't think I'm consigning a 2-2. Jeskai Ascendancy. I don't have any white cards, huh? Let's leave this island open so I don't get wastelanded. That did not hit any artifacts. Just all my swords to plowshares. No, one white source. All right, they hit an ancient tomb off the top. Not ideal for me, I would say, but I have the sauce. Counter that. They're almost dead. I died of construct tokens here. So I can portable hole the null rod. And then is it construct token time? I guess I could stock up. Stocking up could give me something to Emery. Is that worth doing? Yeah, I think so. There's a bauble and a petal and a mystical tutor. I feel like we should win the game on this next turn no matter what. I guess we can go mystical in case we want mystical for something. I don't know. Pretty sure my opponent is dying a death here. Because I can Petal Sapphire wins. Do I have the ability to cast another spell? Petal Sapphire. Then I wouldn't have a thing to return, so no. I don't believe so. Oh, return Petal. You're right. Sure. It's fine. We're going to win on the next turn here. You're right. Petal comes back twice. Yeah, so that would have won for sure. It's okay. Black Lotus. Blue, white, this. Oh, actually. White, black, blue. Dramatic ending. Ton. Blue, red, Ascendancy. And we loopin'. All right. You're right. Petal would have been a card that could have gone in the yard for that. True. True. So do we bring in negations? Not negations. I mean, we can just bring in forces. Some forces. The classic 2 force of will. It's called peak gaming. Maybe some of these baubles are less good. Drew my 1 force. I'm a little worried about this hand having not much mana. Am I supposed to keep it anyways? I think I'm gonna keep it. They have Cavern. Turn 1, Thought-Knot off Cavern. I'm not really willing to counter this. Maybe it's silly. They do have Cavern. All right. All right. Are you gonna hold for a Sowing Mycospawn though? Then I can portable hole it. That'd be pretty sick. No. Wait, what is this? A Glaring Fleshraker, but he didn't make... He has to make colorless mana for it? That's hilarious. Yep. It's countered. Can't sneak that by me. Alright, I'm gonna wait here. Don't want to get wastelanded. Oh my gosh, that's a good card. That's a good card. I need more lands. That's not more lands. Yeah, I think I'm still waiting. Blech. 3 cards in my opponent's hand. Ancient Tomb was rough for me here. And Eldrazi Temple, but no follow-ups. Interesting. Ancestral Recall. Alright. Wait, why am I doing this? I'm gonna overdraw like crazy. I feel like I want to hit my land drops, though, you know? I guess I can just do it on their upkeep off of Basic Island. It's too bad to cast on my turn. I guess if I hit like a bunch of Moxen, it's fine. Like lands and Moxen, or land and Moxen, it would be okay. But that's asking for a lot. Maybe it's not asking for a lot and I'm just unlucky, but it feels like for me right now, it's asking for a lot. Hey, look, landed Moxen. God bless. I think it's going to be okay. I will cast Portable Hole. I will Portable Hole your Null Rod. It does give them... I will use... This is my second spell. This is my third spell. And then... I will play an Emery. And do I want to hold this Lotus? Or would I rather get a Steel Cutter in? Okay, I'd rather hold it. Yeah, I guess I could. You're right. No, that's a good play. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking I wanted to hold up Swords of Plowshares, but technically if I went cori-steel cutter, equip cori-steel cutter, bring back Lotus, that would also hold up Swords of Plowshares. That is true statement. Nice play. I haven't thought of that. I didn't think of that at all. All right. I will go cori-steel cutter, Jeskai Ascendancy, and then make a 2020 Emery. But you were right. That's a pretty nice line. I didn't see that one. All right. I will buy back Lotus. Cast Lotus. I feel like he has a Mind Break Trap or something. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I will discard the Emerald. And then I will give the Emerald buyback. And I will cast the Emerald. I should probably order these. It doesn't really matter. And that's a stock up. I'm going to discard a Swords. And then I'm going to cast another Emery and try to hit... I actually am at 9 damage already. Try to hit something off this Emery. I did. I hit a Mishra's Bauble. All right. Lethal. Woo! Yeah, actually, 3K there came up with a couple of good lines there at the end that I missed, but definitely need to slow down and take a look at the graveyard and equipping and a couple other different Emery things. I kind of ended up on autopilot just because we were so far ahead and I was trying to end the game, but there were definitely small sequencing things you can do there to be a little bit better. Not even a little bit better, a whole turn better in the second game there too. All right. So actually, this was pretty cool. We went 3-2. I feel like we could have easily gone 4-1 with a little bit better luck here. The Dredge matchup is pretty bad though. I would never really expect for this deck to beat Dredge. But honestly, a pretty fun showing. I hope I showed CRK what Jeskai Ascendancy was all about. Not as bad as he originally read, maybe. But yeah, still obviously kind of clunky and kind of a hard card to make work in Vintage. That being said, if your Emery doesn't get removed in Vintage, Emery is so good. The problem is everyone in Vintage right now is playing removal, except for Sean. Everyone else has tons and tons of removal in their deck, and Emery just doesn't feel like it lives very much in Vintage, and that's a huge problem. In general, I feel like cori-steel cutter wasn't particularly good in this, besides the one matchup versus ADM and the Null Rod, where cori-steel cutter was phenomenal. Though maybe I'm missing a couple of different equip plays, like the one that just got brought up. So, in all, relatively good league. Another cool experience here with cori-steel cutter. Got to showcase some cards we haven't seen in Vintage in a long time, and a nice little positive win rate league. If you want to see more Vintage content like this, make sure to check out the YouTube channel. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.